Obviously, you don't want the hydraulic fluid leaking. Unfortunately, these switches leak, and the hydraulic fluid gets into the electrical portion of the switch, corrodes it, creates a what is known as a resistive short, and it's a resistor just like your electrical stove. It will catch on fire. Brake fluid burns at about 300 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a little bit higher than the boiling point of water. It will catch on fire, and right next to it they had the infinite wisdom to put a large brake fluid reservoir of over a cup of brake fluid, flammable fluid, right there by it. When that happens, the vehicle catches on fire and burns up your garage and anybody around as well. The problem with this particular device is that it's always on. That's right, always on, 24/7. You take your keys out, you go in and watch American Idol, it's on. Whether or not you've got your key in there or not. And so you're at risk 24/7 with these vehicles. What vehicles are these? All Ford vehicles, essentially, from 2002 to from 1992 all the way to 2002.
Let me get this straight, okay? Even when it's not on, and I mean, no, I don't think a lot of our viewers, well, 99.5% of our viewers, and about half the trial lawyers have even heard about this. So what you're saying is that lawyers of your caliber that have done products, you, Watts, Wigginton, Rumley, all these other national lawyers who have done this, after you've sued the pants off them, after you have the goods on them, after everything, they still put out stuff like this that can lead to death and irreparable harm.
That's right.
I mean, okay, and even with the National Safety Transportation Board and all that, they're still doing that. Then how are they getting away with this? I mean, I'm sure all our viewers are asking the same question.
I attribute it to, unfortunately, human failing. I took the deposition of a man by the name of Fred Porter who designed this. He's no longer with Ford. I took the deposition of a guy named Carlos Mazorin, who was the vice president in charge, said he was one staircase away from Henry Ford himself in the world headquarters. He's gone. Many of these people do their work and leave and don't tell anybody about the problems. And if there's a problem and you call up Ford and say, look, my vehicle burned up in my garage, and they say, we're not unaware of any problem with your vehicle, even though they flat knew that this was happening. There's a gentleman in San Antonio that burned to death. There's a gentleman in Arkansas that was in his vehicle and jumped in to save the people in the gas station and burned to death before he could get out of it. There's a little girl in Georgia that burned to death. There's a lady in the Midwest that burned to death in front of her father. There are a number of serious injuries involving this particular switch. We didn't know about it. We trial lawyers did not know about it until I stumbled upon it on this one case. We want to get the word out to everybody that has one of these vehicles. Take it to your Ford dealership. Make sure they put in the fix for this. It only costs $15 to fix it, and Ford will pay for it if there's a problem with your particular model.
Well, we've got a couple of minutes left, but I just want to give you the floor. We've got people out there nationwide. We've got people in South Texas watching you right now. And we're going to be playing this all over South Texas, and we want to get the word out. We want to get the word out nationwide. What would you like to tell the people out there in the last couple of minutes we have left on all of this, the medical and all the products out there that are endangering lives?
I think what I'd like to say is this is part of our government. This is our third branch of government, the judicial branch. When you serve as a jury, you're a judge whose decision cannot be overturned by anyone. Whatever you decide the facts are, whatever you decide the damages are, that's your decision. You've got to step forward and go to trials, be a juror, participate in these cases. Remember also that we're in an election year. Whomever you think would be best for your interests, that would represent people in this state for you, you need to become active. You need to get out in your community. You need to vote and see to it that everybody else does. To me, that's one of the best things that you can do. I want something done before somebody comes in and says, my father burned to death and please help me. I want something done to keep that from happening. And to do that, you have to get involved in the process. And when something happens, you need to be the conscious of the community and explain to these companies in the way they understand, in dollars and cents, that you're not going to tolerate it.
Well, and well said. I think that what we've covered today, we've looked at medical malpractice in our second segment. It's been products all the way. I think that, ladies and gentlemen out there, we have got to stop this insanity there of the media bombarding and telling us out there that all lawyers are bad, that all lawyers are out there to make a profit. We've got to understand that the system that is set up is a jury system. You have the absolute right to be in your day in court. You know, any amount in controversy over $20. Our forefathers saw to it. And we've got to underline that lawyers are not the enemy. In fact, you know, we've got to make sure that there are safe products out there. All of this litigation leads to positive outcomes at times. We've got to understand that the medical malpractice laws are set up in place to protect babies, to protect childbearing women, to protect our elderly. And we've got a minute left. I just want to thank you right now for taking the time to appear here.
Quite welcome. I thank you for having me.
Let's get out that information again. If you've got some questions for Mr. Charles Houssiere at the Houssiere, Durant & Houssiere Law Firm, how are they going to get a hold of you again?
You could contact us in Houston at 1990 Post Oak Boulevard, Houston, Texas. Or you can certainly get in touch with us at my email address at choussiere, CHOUSSIERE, at HDHTEX.com. That stands for Houssiere Durant Houssiere Texas.com.
And we want to thank the Houssiere Durant & Houssiere Law Firm for having us here. We tape here in Houston, and I hope we can come back and talk to you some more.
Absolutely.
You've got a beautiful office out here. And we'd like to thank our other sponsors. David Matthews, great mentor of mine, also good trial lawyer, thematthewslawfirm.com. Don't forget my buddy, an officer and a gentleman, West Point grad and trial lawyer, Jerry Guetta, the Guetta Law Firm there in Corpus Christi, and Rhodes Vela, Philemon Vela, and Tom Rhodes, excellent attorneys, and all these people that are standing up for justice and standing up for the citizens of Texas and the U.S. So stay tuned next week. Come on back, and we thank you for viewing our show, and God bless.